Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. And today I want to show you guys how I painted this cute little Christmas teddy. And I actually recently posted this on my Instagram stories, and I asked you guys if you'd like a tutorial, and so many of you agreed, and I thought, why not? Also, I'm a bit late. I apologize for that. Mm, I was not feeling that well. Okay, now, so back to my painting. So I have another sketchbook here, and I will take you through the drawing process first. The drawing is pretty simple. Um, it's just a few circles, keeping in mind just the proportion of the head and the body. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I do that. Just a rough circle here, like a half circle, which is the face of the teddy bear. And I'll keep the ears somewhere around here. So basically what I did here is like one of the ear was showing and the other one was under the cap. So I'm going to just draw one ear here. And I'm going to get the cap somewhat like here, right? Okay. Also, only thing that you have to keep in mind while doing this part is just keep in mind according to the size of the head, we just need to keep the proportion of the cap proper. Okay, we're just gonna erase those extra lines there. All right, I'm gonna get the cap like so. Okay, there you go. And then we're gonna just draw the arms next and be somewhere like so. And then down goes the body here. And the feet. The only thing you need to keep in mind here is the proportion, of course, of the teddy bear. You can't make the feet too bigger. Also, the size of the body as well needs to be in proportion with the head. Yeah, that's somewhat about it. Okay, there you go. That's a nice plump little bear. Okay, there you go. Next up, we're going to just do the nose first. So it's a small triangular shape like so. And two C's coming down like that. And those tiny beady eyes. And smaller triangle shapes. Okay, so we want a smiling bear because it's a Christmas bear. And yeah, of course, we won't forget the bow tie here, the red bow tie. So I'm just going to draw the same like so, and then down here. Yeah, that's about it. Now, the only challenging part, I think, in this whole illustration was how to maintain the fuzziness of the teddy bear, because, of course, it's furry, right? So, how do we um, give it a loose style, but at the same time, because we won't be able to uh, paint each and every fur there, right? So it is a loose style of painting, but we're still going to give it a bit of detail so that it looks like a furry fuzzy teddy bear. All right. Okay, so this is our sketch, and I'm going to just slightly move this here so that you can see the reference. And I'll try my best to replicate the same exact thing, but of course I might get a it might turn out to be a bit different from this one, because of course every time I paint it always turns out there's always some kind of difference. It's never the same, okay? But I'll try to keep it as much as close to this one. Alright, with a kneaded eraser, I'm just erasing some of those darker pencil marks so that it won't show through the paint. Alright, next up, let's start painting, and for that, I am actually using one of these calligraphy brushes. I've kind of recently been liking these brushes. They have a nice point there. If you don't have this, that shouldn't be an issue. You can just use any brush which has a bit of a point, so that you will be able to paint those little fur thing that's going on there. All right, and I'm also going to use number 6, and yeah, that's about it. uh, I'll probably also use a bigger one to kind of just wet the area first so that I pre-wet the painting. Okay, so with my number 12, I am just going to go here and just simply I'm just going to wet. I'm currently leaving this bow tie. I'm not wetting the bow tie currently, because if I do so, then I'm going to get that brown color over that, so I don't want that. All right, I'm just wetting this part, which is the torso, the stomach, and the hands, arms, and paws. All right, there you go. And next up, I'm going to show you the colors. Now, in this one, I think I used some yellow ochre and some Van Dyke brown and probably a bit of burnt sienna as well. So you can go with any kind of brown. If you want it to be a bit more warmer, you can probably use a little bit more yellow ochre. Um, but today I'll probably use a bit of yellow ochre and mixing up that with a bit of brown, whatever was left over there on my palette. I'm going to show you how this looks. So my yellow ochre is here. I hope you can see that. It's right here. And I'm going to mix it up here. And I'll just drop that color here. Okay. I'm not doing much at this moment, just filling it up. All right. A little bit more yellow ochre and a bit of Van Dyke brown. Okay, now this time I'm making it a bit darker, the color. So I mixed a bit of Van Dyke brown here with the ochre, And while this is still wet, I'm just going to drop some of that right here, because if you see here, I have created some depth. So also a bit here to create some shadow of the head and the bow tie, and probably a little bit here. And again, mixing some water, like changing the value of the same color. I am just painting the paws, the feet, I mean, paws, feet, legs. It's a sitting teddy bear, right? So I can only see the paws there. Now I've left a kind of like a random white patch here. You can do that. You can also leave it if you filled it up, which is also fine, not to worry. Again, I'm changing the value, mixing a bit of more, took a little bit more water there. And now this time I'm just going to go over the face like so. Okay, now what I can do is probably I'll change my brush and I'll take a number 6, because now I'm working on a smaller area. I'm leaving the nose out. Okay, a bit of dark here. All right, there you go. That's our first layer. Now we're gonna let this dry a bit. Um, Even if it is, say, about 60% dry, which is also fine. All right, before we go on with the next layer. Now, while that's drying, we are going to go and paint the cap. So for that, I'll take a bit of scarlet and some quin rose to make it a bit more red like, or you can also use permanent red. I don't have permanent red on this palette, so I'm just mixing scarlet with quin rose, quin or crayon rose. And or you can take any red that you have. It just has to look Christmassy, the red. Okay, taking again some water and just kind of blending that out, following the pencil marks, just simply painting. Okay, next I'm going to completely wash my brush, and then okay, there you go. That's it. That's the first layer. And now we're going to wait till this dries out a little bit. All right, back to the painting. Now, as you can see, this is almost drying. This is about almost 70% dry now. And I'm going to use my calligraphy brush with a bit nice point there. And I'll use some Van Dyke brown. And I'm just going to go and just create some, trying to keep some fuzzy fur like so, making some lines there and going out of the pencil marks. Also, to give it a bit more fuzzy feel, what we can do is, using the back of the brush while this is still wet, I'm going to create some lines here. Just say that. That's actually a nice effect. Okay, again I'm going to go with some Van Dyke brown, and this time I'm going to do it this side, and same thing again using the back of the brush. I'm just going to scribble some lines there. Give the effect of hair, of fur. Van Dyke brown. Some finer lines. More Van Dyke brown. This time I'm taking it directly from my palette, not mixing any water because I want to keep a more stronger value. And more depth here. A bit more over here. So the whole idea is to, because it's got quite a lot of texture, right? So how do you create texture in watercolor? You can't be painting each and every line. It's just giving you the feel of the texture. So right now what we're trying to do is we're just creating the feel of the texture. And more Van Dyke brown, with this time I'm mixing a bit of burnt sienna to that to make it a bit warmer, because Van Dyke brown is more towards like a cooler brown. Okay. And all right, now this one's almost like the whole thing is dry, so we're gonna just add a bit yellow ochre, and I'm gonna just gently kind of scribbling my brush there and just wiggle and leaving a bit of that center part. And same thing for this one. Wiggle. Really, it's actually a very random thing, but it's just keeping in mind where I want to keep my depth. Right, now this side is a bit wet, right? And I want to create this line texture, so I'm going to go and use the back of my brush, and I'm going to just, there is no particular direction that I'm following, but kind of going in a bit like a circular motion. All right, a bit over here, make it a bit darker. I'm going to use some sepia this time, a dark brown, quite a dark one. If you don't have sepia, you can also mix a bit of ultramarine blue to your burnt sienna or your Van Dyke brown. You're going to get a similar shade. Okay, now I don't want to again go with too much of details, because that's not the point here. It is a loose style of painting, but again, all right, I think the body area is looking fine. Now probably we can move to the face, and for that again I'm going back with my yellow ochre and Van Dyke brown mixed together, probably a ratio of more of yellow ochre and a bit less of Van Dyke brown, and take a little bit of water, and then again I'm gonna go and just okay, again the back of my brush, and I'm gonna create some lines like so. Van Dyke brown. It's actually quite fun to create texture with watercolor, although it looks challenging, but it's actually not that challenging. It's once you get the hang of it, it's quite fun. Leaving the eyes out. Van Dyke brown. Okay, more Van Dyke brown and a bit of sepia. I'm gonna add this center, the inside of the ear. Okay, now that was a bit wet, so it's kind of bleeding out, so no worries. I'm going to just gently lift that out. All right, almost there. Now while that's drying, we can probably move to this hat. So again, for the hat, now this time we're going to take a more stronger value of the scarlet and some quin rose, but this time I'm not mixing a lot of water, so I'm going to keep the shadow this side and the light this side. So I'm going to create some depth here. Okay, there you go. So the light is this side and this side is a bit darker. I'm going to probably make this a bit straight. Yeah, there you go. I think I'm happy with that. And next up, let's do this little white cotton ball fur, the white fur. And for that, I will be taking some very light gray, and you know, this is what it looks like. This is probably a mixture of some purple and maybe some purple and green or something, or maybe some brown and blue mixed together. It's quite a like a very grayish kind of a shade. It is there in my palette. You can make this by mixing brown burnt sienna with ultramarine blue, or mix it with a bit of purple. I'm just taking some purple here, and let's add some green to that. Let's see how it looks. Purple and green, that's quite a combination. Okay, yeah, something like that. If you want to make this a bit warm, we can go and add a little bit of brown to this. Yeah, there you go. It's very, very like diluted. And then I'm just going to go and do like a circle there. Yep, that's the color. Bit of lifting this part. I'm going to keep a little highlight section. And then same goes for this section as well, the rim of the cap. And now this one's dry. Actually, I don't want to do it. I don't think so. It would be wise to paint it at this time. Let this completely dry out, and then we're gonna go with this part at the end. Like, see, this is what happened. It's still bleeding out. Okay, Now this one still has a bit more depth here, so I'm going to go and probably add a little bit more depth towards this side. Okay. For that, I'm taking Van Dyke Brown and Sepia. Van Dyke Brown and Sepia, yep. Thicker value, like strong. Now this one's really nice and dark to give it a bit more depth. I'm going to use this a bit sparely because, again, when you're painting texture, it's super easy to actually mess this thing whole up, and it might end up looking very muddy, and we don't want that. Very strategically, I'm kind of placing all right, and I think a bit more towards here I can, because this is also almost drying out now. All right, probably we can now move on to the eyes and the nose, and for that I'm taking sepia straight from the palette, not mixing any water, and I'm gonna go and do the nose. Now this side I'm gonna leave a tiny white space. All right, and then next up we're gonna go to the eyes. So okay, not bad. uh this, the C's, the smile, we're going to do that a little later because it's probably not fully dry yet. I'm using that same gray shade that I previously used for the tassel. Now I'm going to just change the value a bit, a little bit darker. Alright, and I'm going to just do some shadow here. Blending that out. Okay, there you go. Almost there. Next up, I'm going to do the bow, the red bow, the red bow tie, and again scarlet and quin rose. This time I'm mixing a bit of brown to that. Rinse my brush and bring that color down. There you go. You're almost there. It's really not, like I told you, it's really not so difficult. It's just getting the shadows right. That's it. It's all about the light and the shadows. Okay, next, last thing, what we need to do is paint the smile there. So I'm going to take sepia and with my pointy calligraphy brush. If you find it difficult to do this with a brush, you can probably use a black pen or even a pencil. Yay, that's my smiling teddy. More depth here. Okay, now this here is not looking so nice. I'm going to just redo this again. You know what? I just had an idea. Why don't I just give a bit of pink there um, to the cheeks? Can I create like a blush? Would that be nice? Let's try it. Sorry about that. My dog's barking. Yeah, I think that's looking cute. I just thought of giving a bit of a blush there to my teddy. The blushing one, smiling, blushing. All right, I think we're almost there. I don't think so that I should be doing anything else. I'm happy with how this is looking. Okay, guys, so there you go. That's your Christmas teddy in watercolor tutorial. I know it was a bit late, but nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you recreate it. Um, if you do, definitely tag me. If you post it on Instagram, tag me with my Instagram handle, Colors by Bhavna, and I would love to share it on my page. And this is cute little, this is so cute. I really like it. I really liked the blush thing that is happening there. And I took a chance, but I think it turned out nice. All right, guys, happy holidays, everyone. And hopefully I'll see you soon again before the holidays in another video. But even if I don't, I'm wishing you happy holidays and I'll see you soon again. Take care. Bye bye.